Yo, what's up, everybody? Lil Scalp a lot, baby. Let's go. Another review. Today was a roller coaster. This whole week was kind of a roller coaster. Um, but it's all good overall. Thinking back on the week, started off pretty slow. It was a green week for me. Um, Not really caring too much about the money right now. Kind of process over profits and mindset. But today started off really good. Had a great trade on SUNE this morning. That's what I'm going to cover. Also going to trade how many times I got fucking chopped out of BTOG. Ridiculous. That was more of a me problem. GV, day 20 continuation. No, I was just really like, it was like day 3 continuation. That was pretty great. Pop at 9 going into the open. SUNE, I was a winner on that one. GV, great winning trade. BTOG, I just got fucking slayed on it all day. And, you know, I was at my daily goal 2 times today, and I'm just going to be transparent to myself because, like I said, these reviews are for myself. They're for me to get better. And I'm at a point in my trading where if I'm going to make the mistakes, the time to make them is now before I start hammering and taking a leap of faith when I start jumping into some real size and trying to chase this dream. You know what I mean? So again, I made mistakes today. I had 2 great trades, and I paper cut in my way. I read, yeah. I went green to red today. Not a lot, tiny little red, but like, you know, just looking back, I have to ask myself, you know, why didn't I just step away on a Friday? When I was at my daily goal after GV, just to get paper cut after paper cut after paper cut of BTOG. You know, it's just one of those things. I'm taking great trades in pre-market, bangers, nailing them, getting to my daily goal, and just getting shopped out on other bullshit. So that's definitely something that I'm going to be looking to take into next week. Things that I need to fix, but let's go over it. Let's go over, you know, what went right on the day, which was SUNE. Again, I start my day at 7 a.m. I'm always looking at like, hey, what's going to be popping at 7 a.m. SUNE was popping. This was the most obvious stock. Again, I'm trading top gainers, high volume, low floats, preferably with a catalyst. But SUNE was just the most obvious stock this morning. Had a nice pop from 4 a.m. up to 5. Put in this pre-market high right here. Going into 7, it blasted through. Here's the pre-market high from 5 a.m. Going into 7, we blasted through that. Made a nice 5-minute flag. I missed this. I missed this flag. I was just still getting my kids breakfast ready and all that stuff, so I wasn't really settled into my desk. But I did miss this 5-minute flag. This is where the highest probability is. Always the first 5-minute setup. Like I said, I missed this, and it just ripped out of that first 5-minute flag, and I was locked in when I seen this thing pulling away right here because I wanted to trade the second 5-minute pullback, and that's exactly what I did. So just kind of trying to walk you through right here. You know, let's just like once I seen this thing break out, I'm always marking like a reference point to where I think we might pull back on the flag. So this was a good level to play off of. And, you know, since this did make a nice breakout from this 5-minute flag, you kind of got to expect that it's maybe going to pull back a little bit more. This one this one tapped the 8 and broke out. This is perfect. But sometimes, let's say like, you know, we have VWAP above the 5-minute 8. It might just make a little flag over VWAP and rip and kind of leave some space between the 5-minute 8. And that pretty much just means that, you know, if I'm playing a 5-minute 8 strategy, I'm going to be taking a little bit more risk. If I'm taking my entries, you know, however far away from the 5-minute 8, whatever. But, you know, since this did make this big move, I was expecting we're going to have a little bit more of a 5-minute pullback. So I was patient to get the next 5-minute 8 tap. So once this thing started pulling back, 1 nice candle, 2 nice candles. Look at this lower volume pullback. This is nice. This gives me conviction. As soon as this thing tapped the 8 right here, right here on the 5 minute. That the next 5 minute candle that tapped the 8, I was glued to it. I was watching. I'm like, I want to see a wick off the 5 minute 8. I want to see it dip down, bounce back up, and hold some support. And as soon as it did, I slapped the ask. Boom, right here on the 1 minute. So like I said, I trade off the 5 minute, but I know what the 5 minute setups kind of look like on the 1 minute chart. So, you know, I trade off both, but I use the 5 minute for my entries, but I do play off the 1 minute. Right here was that candle. Dip down to the 5 minute 8 right here. Boom. As soon as this thing started to wick back up, I slapped the ask, and now this is my risk off. Because this is where buyer stepped up. If everybody's watching this play and it's an obvious stock, and this pattern will work if other people are watching it and it has volume. So, I mean, it had a nice volume spike on this. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna risk the low of this candle. That's at 43s. Let's just say, I'm risking 43s. I think when I slapped the ass, it gave me like 44s, but that's fine, right? It pushes, pulls back. I'm gonna snag this dip most times. If I see this and I missed, I'm trying to learn how to like slap the ask when I see this happening. Then I can use that as my risk. But again, makes a little pop, pulls back. Nice spot for an entry right here to risk off of this. Let's see here. And I'll kind of split my two. So like it tried to push right here, right? Kind of got stuffed a little bit, came back down. I ended up stopping out. But when this happens, usually if my target's 48, right? I'll kind of split it in two. So if I had 44, I'm risking 43. That's 1 cent of risk, right? I'll usually split my profits in two. So that way, if I do get a pop like this, I can take some profits off the table and then look for the bigger move. But this thing kind of popped so fast, I was like, oh, this is a nice pullback, and, let's just see if we get the rip to 48. Didn't take any off here. It ended up pulling back, and I stopped out. Because if this level breaks and I want to reposition myself, because obviously, okay, this isn't the dip that holds. That doesn't mean that the play is not still intact and the 5 minute setup's not still intact. It just might pull back a little bit more, and I don't want to hold a position from 44s down to 42s, maybe 41s. I don't know when it's going to freaking reverse. Now I'm in a losing position, and then it fails, and I take a bigger loss. So I've learned that I just take the little small cut and I'll wait for a reposition. And that's exactly what I did. We pulled back a little bit more, but now we pulled back to some support. A nice little pivot here. Nice little pivot on the 5 right here. We kind of pulled back to that area, and I seen that as a nice risk again, so I re-entered. Risking off of this 42s, kind of this pre-market pivot right here. I don't remember what I had. I think I had like 43s. I think it went up here. I started adding, risking off this 42s. I'm risking another cent per share. Looking for that push through new highs. We were going into 8 a.m. here. Usually I don't do that, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let the trade play out. If it breaks 42, I'm going to cut it. Then we got this beautiful push up. Beautiful breakout. I mean, this was a nice trade. Super nice trade. Nice lower volume pullback right here, It did take a little bit longer, but again, I was looking for this thing to make new highs on the 5, hold the 5 minute 8. It did do that, started to curl back up, and I held that thing long. And this was my first trade of the day. And, easily could have walked away from that. I don't size into these pennies right now because, according to my metrics, I don't do that great with pennies. Probably a risk management thing. Not really, it's not penny stock's fault. Whatever. Just according to my metrics, I don't typically make great money from trading pennies. But I am trying to get better at these so I could take some size. But, I didn't take that much size, and, obviously, my profit's not going to be so big, and then I'm going to be like, oh, let me trade something else. And that's kind of what ended up happening. This thing made a nice breakout going into 8 a.m., broke pre-market highs again, started to pull back, and I didn't take this, actually. I was looking at this. I was watching this, but then BTOG was something that's another penny that started popping. But look at this nice volume, lower volume pullback. And you kind of get this dip again to the 5 minute 8 right here. A little pullback again. You could have got some entries right here. Got a nice little pop. Unfortunately, it didn't break out for new highs, but this was an opportunity. You could still get a little, couple cents a share off this. Not a crazy move, but yeah, I had a nice one from that. Then BTOG was going. I missed this nice first 5 minute flag again because I was watching SUNE, so that was kind of unfortunate. These are the money makers. This nice volume up, lower volume pullback, rips again. That first 5 minute pullback is gonna pay you the most. But I just missed this one. I missed this one. Kind of see how I could have played it. You have this, this pivot on the 5. Popped up over that. Nice lower volume pullback. Bounced right off VWAP. And 5 minute 8 was pretty close. This was a nice trade. I wish I would have taken this one because I ended up, once it broke out and it started to pull back again, even though I had this nasty red candle in front of me, I still felt the need to take a stab at it. I think I took a stab off VWAP, ended up cutting it. I mean, there was my first paper cut. I think I even tried it again 2 times. I'm giving back gains from SUNE now. That was unfortunate. I just got to stop doing that shit. Like, if I miss this first 5 minute flag and, it starts looking a little more choppy right here, it's just, sometimes it's just not worth it. I really need to lock in on those first plays. My first plays where I know I have my good risk to reward setups. I need to slam those more. So when this shit comes, I'm already good up enough on the day to where I'm like, I don't need it. But that's something I can work on. Then we had GV. GV was nice. GV was nice. It wasn't a huge win or anything like that for me, but it was a nice play. This thing popped up at 9 a.m. This was a continuation play. Put in this fat stick. Nice little 5-minute flag here. Kind of over VWAP. This would have been a tougher one to manage. I mean, you could have tried like this first tap of the 1 minute 20 EMA or something like that. But like I said, I kind of like seeing where the support is first, and preferably off the 5-minute 8. But going into open, this thing freaking halted. I was looking for this first 5-minute flag here, but it was just a little tricky. Like I said, it halted here. I think it halted down. Ended up holding up a little here, and I was watching through this consolidation right here, but I just couldn't find something I was comfortable taking. I really wanted to see this. I wanted to see a pullback to the 643s because that was a clear bounce on the 5-minute. I wanted to see a kind of pullback to here. It just didn't really get close enough for me, so I was like, gonna be hard to manage, and then it ended up ripping. But then I did trade the second 5-minute flag right here. Again, it was a little bit tricky. Like I said, it put in a nice stick, a little rejection candle here, but the volume was tapering down. So this is still a lower volume 5-minute pullback. And as soon as it tapped the 8 right here on the 1, I took an entry. Started to pull away a little bit. You know what? Let me see. Actually, no. I think I took more of an entry right here on this dip. Yeah. It put 770s right here, pulled back, or tried to push a little bit, made a little pullback. I took some entries, and then it broke. Technically, I should have been stopped out. Just like I was talking about on SUNE, I should have stopped out here, repositioned, but I gave it a chance because VWAP was right here. I gave it a chance. I had about 775, so I seen this thing dip to 740. I moved my stop here. Can't always do that, but I did. Just because I'm like, okay, let's see. If it breaks VWAP, I'll cut it. But I did add a little bit more here, brought my average down a little bit, kind of repositioned, and then I wasn't looking for much. Honestly, I was just looking for about this level. A little pop right here, a little pop right here where it came down. I was kind of just looking for that, and we did get that. I took half off here. Should have just took the whole thing off. I ended up breaking even on some of the rest. And another time where I could have just, I could have took my 2 to 1 P profit to loss right here. Been nicely green and just ended the day right there. And I said that I was going to do that. But then BTOG, I don't know. I felt the need to continue to stab it. And I ended up taking this this 5-minute flag here after it broke through these pivots right here. But anyways, that's a me problem. Things I need to figure out. But again, SUNE was really nice. I need to lock in more on these plays. I need to lock in on these first setups in the morning. GV was pretty good. BTOG just wasn't my thing, and I should have stopped earlier, trying to just take these little paper cuts. And I wasn't taking big size when I was taking those L's, but paper cut after paper cut after paper cut, you just give all your gains back. I have no problems making money. I do have a problem giving it back. So big things to work on next week. Keeping my profits, locking more in on the plays that are making me money, and just have better risk management and follow my rules a little better. All right, pretty good freaking week. Let's go into next week. See ya.